Hello, friends, and welcome back to another set of stories about entitled people. Today's story starts with a $600 grill and ends with the entire neighborhood gossiping about the guy who dared to keep it. But before we begin, best way to support our channel is to leave comments, like, and subscribe with the turned-on bell so you don't miss the new video every single day. All right, let's get into it. When suburban sharing goes too far. So a few weeks ago, I treated myself to a new grill. Not one of those wobbly bargain bin ones either. This thing was beautiful. Stainless steel, 4-burner, side stove, built-in thermometer, the works. I spent a good Saturday afternoon putting it together, and when I finally got that first round of burgers sizzling, I felt like a king in my own little backyard kingdom. Since then, I'd used it maybe 3 times. Once for burgers, once for kebabs, once for ribs. Each time, I made sure to clean it up, cover it, and tuck it neatly against the back fence. It's inside my yard, behind my gate, nowhere near the sidewalk or any sort of shared space. So you can imagine my shock when earlier today I look out the window and see my neighbor from 2 houses down, not even the guy next door, casually wheeling my grill toward the sidewalk like he's taking it home from a garage sale. I rush outside trying to process what I'm seeing and go, "Hey, what are you doing?" He looks up, startled but not embarrassed. "Oh," he says cheerfully, "I figured this was for the community. Everyone shares stuff like this around here." Now, I've lived here almost 2 years. I've chatted with a few neighbors, waved at others, but I've never once seen a neighborhood-wide tool exchange program, let alone one where you can just wander into someone's fenced backyard and roll off with a $600 grill. I told him, "No, this is mine. I bought it. It's not for everyone." And he looks genuinely puzzled, like I just broke some unwritten code of suburban generosity. He even says, "Well, you left it outside. How were we supposed to know it wasn't for everyone?" At this point, I'm standing there with my jaw on the floor. I gesture toward my fence. "You had to open a gate to get to it," I say. "That should have been your first clue it wasn't communal property." He shrugs, clearly annoyed that I'm ruining his plans, and mutters something about neighbors these days. Then he just walks off, leaving me to wheel my grill back like some sort of crime scene investigator reclaiming evidence. Later that evening, I start getting the side eye from a few other people on the street. My next-door neighbor waved at me, but did it in that awkward, I heard something kind of way. Then another neighbor, one of those people who's always out front watering her plants, calls out, "Hey, I heard you don't like to share your new grill," with a laugh that wasn't really a laugh. Turns out grill thief neighbor has been telling everyone I'm selfish, not community-minded. Apparently, he's been saying that I refuse to participate in the neighborhood spirit, which again does not exist. I asked one of my friendlier neighbors if this was some kind of weird local custom I missed. He laughed and said, "Nah, man, that guy's just nosy. He once tried to borrow my lawnmower without asking. Except by borrow, he meant he already had it halfway down the block." So now I'm the anti-community guy for not letting a near stranger steal my grill. I locked it in my shed just to be safe because, frankly, I don't trust that someone won't borrow it again when I'm not home. And honestly, the whole thing has me questioning my sanity a little. Like, am I missing some suburban etiquette rule here? Is there an unspoken expectation that leaving something on your own property makes it public domain? Because if so, I guess I'll start borrowing cars parked in driveways and see how that goes. For now, I'm just keeping my gate locked and my grill chained up. I'd rather be called selfish than come home to find my ribs being served at someone else's barbecue. You should casually bring it up with the neighbors. Like, "Hey, I caught X the other day trying to steal my grill." Or at least that's what I thought, but he told me neighbors here borrow things from each other's backyards all the time without asking. Is that true? And our second story. My neighbor thinks the smell of freshly cut grass is a personal attack. Last week, I opened my mailbox to find a neatly folded note from my neighbor, the kind written in loopy cursive that already screams passive-aggressive energy. The message: she was politely asking me to avoid mowing my lawn when she's home. Not because of the noise, not because she has allergies, but because she doesn't like the smell of freshly cut grass. That was the entire reason. Here's the kicker. She's a housewife. She's always home, morning, noon, and night. There's no good window of time unless I decide to start mowing at 2 a.m., which ironically would be inconsiderate. I didn't bother responding. I just kept mowing like I always do. Weekends, late morning, or early afternoon. Standard neighbor etiquette. Never early enough to wake anyone. Never late enough to bother them. But apparently continuing to mow my own lawn was an act of war. The next time I mowed, she came outside and dramatically held her nose like she was in a gas leak commercial. The time after that, she stood on her porch waving her hand in front of her face, glaring at me like I was personally polluting the air with the scent of oppression. At one point, I actually caught her closing all her windows one by one in exaggerated slow motion, eyes locked on me the entire time. It was like a performance art piece titled, "How Dare You Maintain Your Yard?" Then came another note. This one said, "If you must mow, please coordinate your schedule with mine so we don't overlap." No times, no details, just the expectation that I'd somehow figure out her personal anti-grass smell calendar and adjust my life around it while working a full-time 9-to-5 job. Because of course she's home all day, every day, to supervise the air quality. Look, it's not like I'm running a landscaping company out of my backyard. The entire job takes maybe 20 minutes once a week. I don't use strong fertilizers or gas-powered machinery. My mower's electric, and it's whisper quiet compared to most. But somehow the faint, fleeting smell of freshly cut grass has become a neighborhood emergency. The irony is, everyone else on the street mows their lawn too. Are they all offending her delicate sensibilities, or am I just the unlucky one who drew the lawn villain card in her head? I swear, if this keeps up, I might start mowing twice a week just to spite her. Maybe throw in some fresh mint or basil for variety? Imagine the horror. Honestly, I'm baffled. It's grass, it grows, it gets cut. That's literally the cycle of suburban life. Yet somehow I become public enemy number one because the air smells too natural. At this point, I'm half expecting a third note asking if I could replace my lawn with AstroTurf for the sake of neighborhood harmony. Just keep mowing your lawn as usual and ignore your wackadoodle neighbor. Her exaggerated aversion to the smell of cut grass is a her problem, not a you problem. She has no standing whatsoever to demand that you only cut your grass when she isn't home. That's ridiculous. If she wants to keep making a fool out of herself by dramatically slamming her windows shut or holding her nose while staring at you while you mow, that's her prerogative, but you shouldn't pay any attention to her whatsoever. And our next story. They wanted the Amazon price, so I told them to go to Amazon. Karma delivered the next day. My brother used to work at an electronics store a while back. He hated when customers would come in, talk to him for an hour about some device, get all the info they wanted, and then say they'd just buy it cheaper online. It wasted his time and cost the store real sales. One day, this couple came in asking about a specific camera. They were asking basic questions, the kind you could answer with a quick Google search, but my brother stayed polite and helped them out. They seemed interested, but then started complaining about the price. The wife said, "But we saw this camera on Amazon for the same price, and it came with a bunch of stuff. Can't you give us a discount since yours doesn't?" My brother said, "Sorry, it's already on sale. The system won't let me lower it any further." The wife pushed again. "Then maybe you can give us the other stuff for free. Amazon's deal comes with extras." The husband pulled up the listing on his phone and showed it to him. My brother looked and said, "That's mostly junk that'll break in a week. You can buy it from Amazon if you want, but we can't just give away our good accessories." The wife sighed, "But it would be so much easier to buy it here. We really need it for tomorrow. We're hosting an event and want to take good photos." The husband jumped in, "Make us a good deal or we'll have to buy it from Amazon." My brother went back and forth with them for another 25 minutes, calmly explaining that he couldn't change the price or give away free items. He even told them, "Honestly, if you like that Amazon deal so much, just go for it." Eventually, the couple gave up and said they'd just buy it online. My brother was just relieved to see them leave. The next day, they walked back in, much to his annoyance. The wife said, "So we checked the reviews, and people said all the extra stuff was junk. We'll just buy it here." Trying not to roll his eyes, my brother just said, "Okay, cool." They went to the camera section, and the shelf was empty. My brother checked the inventory system and had to stop himself from smiling. "Oh, I'm sorry," he said. "Looks like one of my coworkers sold the last one yesterday." "What? But we really need that camera," the wife said. The husband panicked. "We need it for tonight. Can't you check if another store has it?" He checked and said, "There's another one left at another store, but it's about 45 minutes away." "Can't you ask them to hold it for us?" the husband begged. "Sorry," my brother said, suppressing a smirk. "They don't do holds. It's first come, first served." He said he'd never felt so satisfied watching a pair of customers sprint out of the store. And stories like this are why I prefer not to deal with online stores. When I need or want something, I want to have it today, not tomorrow or the day after. I don't want to have to worry about porch pirates or that the item looks and feels different than what the photos show. Yes, I'm old school, and I like it. And our last story. She called the cops on my parked car, then got embarrassed in court. I live in a quiet little cul-de-sac just outside a neighborhood run by an HOA. Thankfully, my street isn't under their jurisdiction, but that doesn't stop them from acting like it is. A few months ago, my old car had been sitting in front of my house. It's got a dent in the back from when a drunk driver hit it, and the registration tags were about a year expired. Not because I was lazy, but because I knew it wouldn't pass inspection yet. I'd been slowly fixing it up piece by piece, saving money where I could. I had plans to finish the repairs and get it inspected by May. Then one morning I walk outside with my coffee and find a bright orange parking ticket stuck to my windshield. At first I thought it had to be a mistake. My street's small. No one ever patrols here. Then I see her. Standing there with her arms crossed, the self-appointed queen of the HOA from the next neighborhood over. "Morning," I said. "You wouldn't happen to know why there's a ticket on my car, would you?" She gave me this smug little smile. "Well, maybe if you took care of your vehicle, you wouldn't be breaking the law. Your car looks awful, and it's been sitting there for weeks. I called it in." I stared at her. "You called the cops on my car?" "Technically," she said, "you're violating city code by having expired tags. You're lucky it's just a ticket. If this were our neighborhood, we'd fine you for that ugly bumper, too." I laughed, mostly out of disbelief. "So you're mad about my car existing near your precious HOA border and decided to waste police time over it?" She sniffed. "Maybe you should get a better car if you can't afford to fix it." That one hit a nerve. I bit back what I wanted to say, mostly involving the words condescending harpy, and just walked inside. No sense feeding the troll. Fast forward a few weeks, court day. I show up, ticket in hand, ready to explain myself. The officer who wrote it was there too, a young guy who looked about as thrilled to be there as I was. When the judge called my case, I explained the situation. "Your Honor, my registration is expired, yes. The car's undergoing repairs, and I can't renew the tags until it passes inspection. I have invoices and photos showing the work I've been doing, and I'll have it ready by May." The judge nodded. "Reasonable. Why was the ticket issued in the first place?" The officer looked awkward. "We got a call from a local HOA president. She insisted the car was abandoned and lowering property values. Said she'd keep calling until something was done. So, I wrote the ticket." The judge raised an eyebrow. "You wrote a ticket because a neighboring HOA complained about a car on a street they didn't even manage?" The cop just shrugged. It seemed easier than arguing. The judge sighed, rubbed his forehead, and said, "This is ridiculous." Then he looked at me. "I'm dismissing this ticket. You have until the end of May to complete your inspection. You're clearly making an effort." "Thank you, Your Honor," I said. But he wasn't done. He turned to the officer, leaned forward a bit, and said, "Officer, I'm going to have a word with the city about how these are being written. This is a complete waste of everyone's time, mine, yours, and this gentleman's. You've got more important things to respond to, real emergencies." The officer nodded sheepishly. "Yes, sir." I walked out, grinning ear to ear. Later that afternoon, I saw the HOA queen walking her dog near the intersection. She gave me this smug little look like she was expecting to see a boot on my car. Instead, I smiled right back. "Hey, just came from court. Ticket got dropped." Her face twitched. "What?" "Judge said it was a waste of time," I said cheerfully. "Oh, and I got an extension. So you'll get to enjoy looking at my ugly bumper for another month." She opened her mouth to say something, but I just waved and walked inside. It's amazing how some people treat HOA president like a government position instead of a hobby for bored control freaks. The cop knew it was dumb, the judge knew it was dumb, and yet she still managed to embarrass herself across multiple departments. She's probably still fuming about that unregistered menace while your car's out there minding its own business. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.